Let's do more now on this surge in inflation. Remember, Labor told us they'd fix the inflation problem. Now, despite being in government for 3.5 years now, the Treasurer is still blaming the Morrison government. Have a listen.
Inflation is higher than we'd like, but it is much, much lower than we inherited from our predecessors.
Let's go to Canberra and bring in the Shadow Treasurer, Ted O'Brien. Ted, apparently it's all the Coalition's fault, even after into their second term.
Oh, well, it's certainly not Jim Chalmers' fault. It was Vladimir Putin's originally, and now it's gone back to being the Coalition. So it's just a little bit of that going on, Chris. I think everyone knows they call it Jimflation for a reason. It's Jim Chalmers' inflation.
Yeah, well, it's kind of so predictable. We all know that if governments spend wildly, that'll push inflation up, and we were talking about that before it happened. And the other factor, of course, is energy prices. We know that if you keep energy prices spiralling upwards, it's going to flow on to everything. And that's been the case. What really worries me about energy is they're promising to keep doing what's created the problem in the first place.
You would think they'd learn the lesson, Chris, but clearly they haven't. 3.5 years in, inflation's on electricity is up, 40%? And their answer is to double down on a failed policy. And you're right, it's not just mums and dads at home, they turn on the electricity, it's costing more. This hits into your small businesses, your cafes, your manufacturers. So everything you buy at the grocery shop has been impacted by higher energy costs. So inflation just keeps going up. And again, we heard today inflation's at 3.8%. So anybody looking for an interest rate cut this year, there's no chance.
And this energy crisis hurts the budget in other ways too, because it leads to more government spending. They're spending money on these energy rebates. They're spending money hand over fist on home batteries and other subsidies. So there's just more and more taxpayers' money going out of the door. When it comes to these rebates, which of course have given some price relief to consumers, do you expect Labor to keep them going? And would you oppose them keeping them going? They're due to run out at the end of this year.
Chris, to be honest, I don't know if they will. I think that there's been enough problems in the entire energy system where they can just put rebate after rebate, but they know that it's not solving the problem at its source. And so, but they might surprise us. Maybe they will come out with more rebates to help households. There's no doubt we want to see households helped. But the reality is this is just going to keep on coming. You have to keep using taxpayers' money. They take more money out of the back pocket and they put a little bit more in your front pocket, and they want to be patted on the back as if to say, thank you very much, job well done. The energy system is failing. You know that better than most. And they refuse to shift gears and go in a different direction.
This is what really worries me about it, and it was borne out in that Energy Council report, is the people who can afford it least are hurting the most. And when you have these taxpayer-funded schemes, such as the home batteries, you need to be able to afford that. People need to be pretty well off to afford to put in the solar panels and the batteries to get a government subsidy to help them out, right? So that's tax dollars helping out people who have got a bit of money and are looking after themselves. Well, some of those tax dollars come from the poorer people, the people who are renting, the people who can't put a battery at their house because they're renting or can't afford to put in solar panels and a battery, yet their taxes are helping other people do this. I mean, it just seems completely unjust and unfair, especially for a government that's supposed to be for working families.
It's completely unfair. And EVs is exactly the same thing. I mean, this is a Labor government which purports to be helping, people who are struggling in life. But the more money you have, the bigger discount you get if you want to take out a lease on an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So I just don't buy any of this sort of Robin Hood stuff from the Treasurer. The way that Labor is running things is they are taking more and more personal income taxes from everyday Australians, and then they are misspending it. This is the highest spending government in 40 years, and they will not stop.
It's pretty crook. I want to show you something that ordinarily would be encouraging. That is a Labor minister talking about reducing the spend on public servants. Have a look.
It is absolutely appropriate that every year we take an absolutely strong look at that budget and make sure that when we're making these big improvements to services, as our government is doing on Medicare, on bulk billing, on cheaper medicines, on energy bill price relief, that we're thinking about where we can rationalise in other parts of the budget.
Claire O'Neill there talking about public sector job cuts. The point is, Ted O'Brien, is that they've added 40,000 public servants to the federal payroll. They've added tens of thousands of them, and only now they're starting to realise, well, maybe they can't afford them.
And the rank hypocrisy, this is the same Labor government that tried to beat up on the coalition all through the first half of this year because we were calling out the fact that they have just let it go when it comes to the public service numbers. Now, of course, the other side of the election, it's a different story.
Yes,
it's the same thing that they did on energy, right? I mean, they make one promise and then, electricity prices are going to come down. Well, after the election, they go up. They say, interest rates are going to come down. After the election, they go up. It's right across everything they do, and this is no different whatsoever.
It is a shocker. Thanks for joining us, Ted. Appreciate it. Ted O'Brien there, the Shadow Treasurer.